Right guys, here we are, welcome back to the channel. Just a little video for you today, something a bit different. So this time of year, with the lockdown across many countries across Europe and the world, people are logging into FM. It's also sort of like the halfway point halfway point of the game, of the FM20 cycle. And I just thought, this time people are looking for new challenges. So I'm just giving you 6 teams to have a little go at. 5 that you can find in the original game, and then 1 that you need an extended database for. Now, this is just my opinion. Teams also that I've not recommended in the last 2 years as well on a couple of other videos that I've done. We'll go through each team, have a little look at the finances, the squad, reasons why it's a good save, etc, etc. And let me know down in the comments which team takes your fancy. But before we start today's episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like today's video, muchly appreciated. Make sure you comment the team that takes your fancy out of the 6, and let's get into team number 1. Okay, team number 1, Werder Bremen. Now, main reason that if you weren't aware, they're having a shocking Bundesliga season. Probably the coronavirus may well save their ass. They're currently second from bottom, 4 points, I think, off safety. I do like to react on sort of like real life world events and real life football events and see if I can turn the fortunes round of a side. And I thought Werder Bremen, with their history, would be a pretty good team. Now, they've won the Bundesliga 4 times, the last one being 2004, so the due one. They've also competed in the Bundesliga more than anybody else. I think they've competed in the Bundesliga 56 out of 57 seasons. I think they have competed the most time in the Bundesliga, and they've been in it for the last 30 odd years. Now, reasons for it, I do find this one as probably the easiest one out of the lot. Main reasons because I don't think you'll go down. I don't think you'll go down first season. I don't think that should be an issue to you. Number 2, long term, excellent training facilities, great youth facilities, secure finances, 42,000 seater stadium as well, so the old money comes in. Finances in Germany as well for the clubs are pretty good. Finances for Werder Bremen, 18.5 million in the bank. You've got absolutely nothing to spend, 1.5 million, but I think they did a little bit of spends in the summer anyway. And debt, 325k, so what you're looking at there, like 4 million in a year. So if you can get into Europe, I don't think that will be too much of a problem for you. I think I'm sure the Bundesliga money is pretty much distributed all out in the prize. It was there, look. So if you get 6th or 7th, or even 8th, 50 million. So you're not going to miss that 4 million. So that's a manageable debt, which is good. Now, squad-wise, it's not looking too bad. You've got players like David Klaassen in central midfield, are very, very good. Obviously, even though he was an Everton flop. Maximilian Eggestein, very good. Another player that's decent enough. Hot prospect John Sargent, 19-year-old American, wanted by 11 clubs, all on loan. I don't know if he's going to be an absolute world beater for you. His mentals are pretty good though for a 19-year-old, but one to keep an eye on. Any others in the squad that you've still got? Claudio Pizarro at the age of 40. Look at him, pretty decent. He'll do you a job coming off the bench. Depending if you play 2 up front, he can drop off. He can also be a poacher. You've got David Selke, very, very sharp advanced forward, 6'4", pressing forward. But with his pace and that, you could do an advanced forward, no problem. He will score you goals. Jonas Eggestein, a young player, okay, not as good as what he used to be on the game. Nori Sarin, ex-Real Madrid, Dortmund, Liverpool, very, very good in terms of FM. Michael Lang, player that I've always been a little bit of a fan of in FM, very quick, good defensively, a very decent right fullback. You've got Omar Toprak on loan from Dortmund. Club captain, Nicolas Moisander, the ex-Ajax centre-half. Pretty decent. He'll do your job. So you've got players there already. Even though you've got nothing, you've also got Bittencourt. He's pretty average. But you've got a nice number of decent players in there. Now you are predicted to finish 10th. And what do the board want? Let's have a little look. End of current season, top half. So you're looking at top 9. I think that required, absolutely. I think if you're a half-decent manager, you haven't got a problem with that. And then over the next years, work towards qualifying for the Europa League. So you're looking at top 7. And then Europa League over the next 5 years. So they may change. Obviously, you know how it works. But I think as a nice base start, if you're looking for a new team, something that you can build on, so excellent youth facilities. There'll obviously be some youngsters in the reserves and in the under-19s. I imagine that will come through. Club with a bit of history. They actually even won the European Cup Winners' Cup in 1992. Big club, big stadium. Money to come in if you can be successful with Bremen. Bundesliga is pretty good for money. Loans not a problem. Club with a bit of history. There you go. Team number 1, Werder Bremen. And let's move on to team number 2. Right, next one. Independiente, Argentina. We're moving to South America for this one. Main reasons, once again, they're a bit of a not fallen giant. Oh, they're a fallen giant. They're part of like the big, I think they call them in Argentina like the Big Five or something. They're a part of that. They've not done well over recent years. And with the re-emergence of River Plate, Boca looking very strong as well. Independiente are just falling behind a little bit. They're quite successful, 15 Primera League titles, with most of them titles being before. So if you look, they had this opening and closing stage to the season where they literally gave out 2 trophies, for a long, long time. Only 2 of their 15 count towards an opening and closing part. So as you can see, 60s, 70s and 80s, they were very successful. 7 Copa Libertadores, the last one in 1984. So the club has got history, number 1. Number 2, you've got some decent players. Silva Romero, experienced Argentine, not been capped, but pretty good player to start with. Centre forward, 15 finishing, not bad. Martin Campana, as you can see, the squad's 2 players there are already 30 years old. Alan Franco, money potentially for you, 4.5-star potential. The big boys in China, I have seen him move around a bit for about 10, 15 million sometimes. So if you're desperate for cash, you want to rejuvenate the squad a little bit, there may be one player that you might be able to get rid of. Or you build the team around him and try and keep him for as long as you can. You have got 3 years on his contract as well. So initially nothing to worry about straight away. Wonder Kid, Alan Velasco, 16 years old, 4.5-star. A player there for you that has a bit of profitability, no doubt. I imagine he makes his way over to Europe in 9 out of 10 saves that you'll see on Football Manager 20. Great training facilities, great youth facilities, good reputation as well. Finances, no debt, which is brilliant for an Argentinian club because I imagine there's a lot. Nothing in the transfer budget. You have got this. The 65% of transfer revenue is made available until 35 million revenue has been generated. Thereafter, it will drop. So for most of it, you're not going to be given an abundance of cash, but at least you're not going to be in a shitload of debt. I imagine Argentinian's league is not the biggest league in the world in terms of transfer fees. You're not going to be probably signing players for 20 million. It'll be about getting youth players in from maybe across Argentina and South America, developing them, and then selling them on that way, and then using whatever 30% you get from the board, using that to reinvest in the squad. Last little one, Lucas Romero, another player, European bound, I imagine at some point. 4-star potential, very good physicals and mentals, and for a right back as well, tackling 15, crossing's not great, but I imagine there's another player as well that you may be able to shift on if you want in sort of like a youth development sort of challenge. Right, the board, what do they want? Top half finish. Right. I'm not on a big thing. The league is nuts. So they've done so much swapping about with the league. I believe now it's gone up to 24 teams, but they are looking at reducing it. I'm pretty sure some teams get relegated and then none are getting promoted or something like that over the next couple of years. So you'll have that to deal with. Media think 5th. The board want top half, which is top 12. You'll be very disappointed if you don't get top half, to be honest. You should be getting that. No problem. Racing Club are champions, but actually in real life, Boca won this season. just before literally the sort of like coronavirus took over. Now, there is a thing where I think you only play them once. I'm pretty sure you only play them once. 23 games, you play each other once, and then you go into like this other, like, does it say anywhere? Doesn't actually say. Hang on. I know I'm right. I was right. So after the season finishes, you go into a Copa de Superliga. I was right. Play each other once in 2 groups of 12, so 11 games. Top 2 go through to a semi-final, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. So it's not just a 3 games season over. You are looking at a minimum of 33. Now, the board want top half. Then they want, what did we say? They wanted, well, straight away, they want you to reach the semi-finals of the Copa Sudamericana, which is desired. I think if you have a decent season, you'll be fine. That's like the Europa League, and there is some really poor teams in that. So if you're having a good season in the Argentinian league, I think you'll be all right with that, or at least get close to it. And once again, if you're having a better than a top half finish, I think the board won't be too arsed. And then the season after, working towards the Primera Division title. So a bit of a jump. You haven't got long. You're not going to be able to have 3 or 4 years like the first save with Werder Bremen, where you have 5 years to just get into Europa League. They're wanting success. And then by the end of it, win it, become the most reputable team in South America. Based on what the club is like, that shouldn't be an issue. If you're doing well and winning league titles and challenging for Copa Libertadores, that may not be an issue. Okay, there's team number 2. Also, can you bring back Sergio Aguero? I think he's wanting at some point to come back, isn't he, to South America? And I imagine he wants to play for Independiente because he kind of left really young. So, can you get him back when that contract expires? I think you might. What a player to bring home. Right, team number 2. Let's head ourselves back over to Europe. Right, here we are, team number 3, Brøndby. So, someone suggested these to me a while ago when I was looking at doing a new series on the channel, and I didn't realise. I knew they were still in the top division. I knew that obviously FC Copenhagen was sort of like are doing very well, and there's Midtjylland over the last few years. But I hadn't realised that Brøndby haven't won a league title for what? It'll be 14 years at the start of the save. Now, for a club of their size, literally probably the second, I think they've won the second most titles. I'm pretty sure they'll only be, well, they've won 13. Copenhagen have won 13. Midtjylland have only won 2. These are a couple of other teams that have gone extinct and stuff. But in terms of teams that are still going, Brøndby are massive. I can remember from my young days, because I'm sure they played Man United a couple of times. Squad is ambitious, okay? Always a good start. You've had legends like Ebby Sand come through it. He was one of my 90s legends. I'm sure Peter Schmeichel came through. You've got the Michael Laudrup as well. There's a player for you straight away. A bit of a Brøndby legend, look. Get him back in. So just a bit of an opportunity. They're already in the Europa League as well. Finances is never going to be great. You've got a little bit of cash there to spend. Never going to be great. Debt, nothing. Tick. League quite small. I haven't even looked at it. It has a different fate by the looks of it. So a little bit of fun there. Preliminary phase, then either a relegation. Wow. Some kind of relegation stage, and then championship group. Let's have a look. Top 6 going. Oh, maybe just like they do in Belgium. The top 6 play against each other, and points maybe cut 50%. I don't know. Something for you to find out. In Belgium, what they do is top 6 and then bottom 6, and then the top 6 play each other again, I think twice, and you take 50% of your points through to the next stage. I don't know if that's the thing. I don't know. Obviously, European football is going to be quite difficult. You're going to have to go through playoffs by the looks of it, but it is there. You may, if you get lucky. I'm thinking if you're a half decent side, a Danish team should be able to get through to the group stages. Hopefully maybe not the Champions League straight away, but hopefully the Europa League. So there's a bit of money there for you. Squad wise, captain, very young captain, young and ambitious squad look, 25 years old, valued at 850k, 3.5 star. He's just average, isn't he? He's just average. Key player, Simon Headland, 26-year-old again, decent age, 4-star, current ability already. Winger, can also play up front. Not bad. Youngster as well, Jesper Lindstrom, 4.5 star potential. Bit of coin maybe to sell. I don't think he's going to be amazing, but a bigger European club may come along and snap him up, especially if he's performing well for you in the centre midfield. And at 19, he can probably handle himself, ready to not far off starting by the looks of it. Maybe a substitute option for the first season. Big rivals, FC Copenhagen. Can you overturn them? Obviously, they've had a fair bit of dominance in the league. Midtjylland AAB have won it a couple of times even. And they've won it 4 times. They've won it there. Nordsjælland won it once. There's Brøndby look. So they've been close. Runners up in 2017, 2018. I think they were 4th last year as well. So I think the difficulty for this one would be is getting onto that the continental scene and see if you can make an impact there. I think over a couple of years you may be able to overtake Copenhagen, even with their stronger squad. I think it may be able to overtake them at some point if you know what you're doing in the game. And then the next stage will be, can you make them decent in Europe? They did do quite well. I can't remember the year. They've never obviously won a trophy, and I imagine no one's won a trophy in Denmark. I think it's only, I'm going to say Gothenburg, and maybe the only team in Scandinavia that have maybe won a European trophy. I could be wrong, could be right. Don't know. But anyway, can you be the first team in Denmark to win a European trophy? Right. Last little thing. Let's see what the board want from you. So, end of current season, Champions League, Europa League reach group stage minimum. So that is required. So obviously they're wanting you to make sure you get through the difficult qualifying. So fingers crossed you get a decent draw. Superliga finish in the top 3, which I think if you finish below sort of like third position, you've probably underachieved anyway. There should only really be Copenhagen and Midtjylland that you should be really fighting for anyway. And then challenge for the leagues, maintain a challenge. So you need to be up and around it from day one. But that's an interesting one. Europa League, straight away you're going to be in probably at the start of June, getting games in the Europa League. Fingers crossed you can get a decent draw. Right, that is number 3. Let's move on to team number 4. Right, team number 4 was going to recommend this being a really easy save to start with. Bursaspor, Turkish League champions in 2010. 9 years later, relegated to the second division. This is the issue. I think the squad that you have, you'll be able to get out of the league no problem. Insecure finances and pay in a lot. 500k a month for the next 2 years at least, and that is just paying off the interest. So if you want to have a wheeler dealer save, to be fair, my Fenerbahce one, we're one of the biggest teams in the country, and we're really struggling financially. The good thing though, there is a bit of money in Turkey. There is a bit of money. You've got 43,000 seat stadium as well, new, so the facilities are good, excellent youth facilities, excellent training facilities. The only issue is the bank balance is going to really restrict you. You get out of the division no problem, even though you are starting with -3. So top 2 go up, and then the third down to the 6 have playoffs. You're not favourites, you are 4th favourites. But I think a decent crack at it in the first season. I think you'll be fine. Board do want playoffs only, so get in the top 6. End of next season, you need to get yourselves out. I think you need to get yourself into the Super League as quickly as you possibly can, just for the money side of it. But they're a massive club. Obviously, the money has been the issue with them. There's obviously foreign rules as well, but I think you're allowed a decent number of foreigners. Standout players, you may find that some of these players, you've got a very experienced 38-year-old midfielder who's still pretty good. Strength, stamina at 10, pace 8 for a 38-year-old's not bad. Decent technical still, awesome mentals. Vice captain is for Turkey. Pretty good. What's he, like a target man? Might be able to use my Fenerbahce tactic. Key player, Abdullah Sayou. Pretty good. Defensive midfielder though. It's not really where you want your key player, I suppose. Hot prospect is 5-star potential. You can maybe get him in. You never know. One of the bigger Turkish clubs may snap him up, but for me, he's not standing out. That's not a player that I will be really looking at for Fenerbahce. That's for sure. Even though he is Turkish, yeah, he's not great. He's not great. So there's a bit of work to be done. There's going to be a lot of wheeler dealing. Can you get loans from the big boys, the Besiktas, Trabzonspor, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce? But for this one, you've got your work cut out. It's a lot harder than what I thought. It's already hard anyway to overtake Galatasaray in the Super League, just because they're just absolute monsters with the squad and the money that they spend. So that is probably going to be a long-term save. Even though you're only in the second tier, you've got the facilities there already. You've got the fan base there already. It's going to be a long one, that. It's going to be a long one. But can you get Bursaspor back to champions of Turkey? There you go. Look, one title in 2010. Right. Fifth and final one before we do a little wildcard one at the end. Right, the fifth and final one is Genoa. Now, before we get into it, I've picked Genoa for a couple of reasons. Genoa are also going to be my stream save to carry us through from FM20 all the way, hopefully, through to FM21. Starting on April the 19th on my channel, Sunday evenings. So if you're watching this as the video comes out, you know that this is my new stream save. Videos will also be saved as VODs on the channel, so you'll be able to watch and catch up. There's a few reasons why I've picked Genoa. Let's get into it. So, Genoa, history. History is the big one. They are, I think, the fourth most successful team in terms of Serie A league trophies in the country. They have 9, which, considering Roma, Lazio, Napoli, Fiorentina have 9 combined, this is a club with great history. Now, the last one being 1924, so a long time without a title. And it probably will take you. Can you get it in 100 years before they hit 100 without winning that Serie A title? That'll be a big task, especially with the teams of Juventus and Inter Milan. Lots of clubs very, very strong again in Italy, or have the potential to be strong. So the reason why I've chose Genoa is not just because of that, but also because they're in Serie A, they're in the top tier, so you've also got a nice base, decent stadium. Finances, you've got a bit of a debt, but it's manageable. So over the course of a year, you're looking at, what, £6 million? You know, you look at maybe shipping off a couple of crappy squad players to sort of like cover the debt while you're not in European competition. The money in Italy isn't bad. I think you get around maybe 50-60 million combined with TV and other money. So you've got 14 million in the bank. They've even given you 6 million to spend. So I don't think the finances will be too much of an issue. Now, interestingly, the board want high pressing football, which is good. Sign players from lower levels, and then you're probably going to look at selling them on. Develop players to develop for profit. Only favoured, so that's not a big one. Favoured as well, minimum contracts, players over the age, so they don't want to be lumbered with older players. Sell players on to profit. So you are going to find, I think, players going, the board stepping in and selling them on your behalf. Work within budget. Mid-table, so top 10-ish. Record top half. So as long as you're doing an alright job with Genoa, you will keep your job. Now, this is an interesting bit. Transfers. You've got this guy on loan already, coming in at the end of the season, 2.8. 6 million on Favelli, striker Genoa, and then Pina Monte. He was awesome in FM20, not as good in FM20, but as a 20-year-old, he's got the potential. But you are paying 15.5 million. So most of your budget is going to be taken up already on these players here. So be aware of that. I'll be aware of it, but you know that you've got quality coming in. They're already on loan as well. And on the outs, you've got 2 players going for nearly a combined 20 million anyway. He's already on loan at Fiorentina. He's already on loan at Fiorentina. So you've got a balance of about, £5 million to pay. So whatever your budget is going to be 5 million less than what it was. So just take that into consideration. The rest of the squad, you've got some decent players. Christian Zapata, experienced centre-half. He'll do a job for you, no problem. Can kick it, he can head it, can run as well, very strong. Experience, he was obviously at AC Milan. Mattia Perrin, very good goalkeeper on loan. Not paying anything at wages either. You might be able to get loan deals for him over the next couple of seasons. Goran Pandev, one of my all-time legends from when he was at Lazio. Igor Falke, now he was absolute garbage at Spurs, but has done all right since, and I think he's regarded as a key player for you. Antonio Sarabia, decent striker. You're going to have to play 2 up front. Because you've got, bloody hell, they've got Destro. So you've got, on loan from Bologna, Mattia Destro, Favelli, Pinamonti, Sanabria, all 4 strikers. So you're going to really want to play 2 up top there. Then you've got Eriksson, he's a decent player. Stefan Storaro is ex-Juventus, just a tackler, box-to-box, ball-winning midfield. There you go. So you can maybe look at playing him and Barani in there, just box-to-box, ball winners, 2 maybe expansive wide players, balls in the box for the strikers, potentially. I think that's what I will be looking at myself. You've got Lasse Schöne, who was at Ajax, did very well for Ajax and was a regular last year. 1.3 million was well for him. He's 33, but he's going to struggle, isn't he? You're going to struggle to find a place for him. Maybe might even play him out wide as like a wide playmaker, potentially. That's what I may do. Obviously, you guys might be very different. But you've got players like Crescito, experienced player, kind of just come back from Russia. Very good player. So the squad itself, I think, is pretty good. The board expectations aren't too bad. The loans things is a bit of an issue because the loans are turning into permanent deals as well, and a lot of good players are going to be leaving on loan. But I think maybe Italy, you're going to have to be good in the transfer market, freebies and getting loanees back in to get the players that you've lost. And then obviously look at 5 years down the line, I think you'll want to be getting into the Europa League as soon as possible. Maybe even get it in. What we'll need? Top 7? Will it be top 7 maybe to get into the Europa League? Yeah, top 7. Top 7 to get into the Europa League. So there you go. I think that's achievable in the first 2 seasons. No problem. You are predicted to finish 13th, but barring the big boys, Fiorentina generally don't do well in FM. They aren't doing it very well in real life anyway. So an opportunity there to get into the top 7 if you can do really well. Get into it the first season. Right, that's the 5 done. We're going to show you one more. Extended database. I'll put the link in the description below so you know where to get it. It's a very reliable source. It's a very good database. I think it's one of the best out there, not in terms of France, but just in terms of quality. Let's dive in and take a look. So, the 6th team, the wild card. You need a database that runs at least down to the 5th tier in France. So the tiers at the moment, you get first 3 tiers in France at the moment, and then you can get an extended database down to 8. These are in National 3, are in the Paris sort of like division. So you've got Paris Saint-Germain reserves in there, but it is Racing Club Football de France. They've had millions and different names. At the moment, they're called Racing CFF, Racing Club de France, or Paris. Racing Club Paris is also another name for them. As you can see, despite them being in the 5th tier and now only being semi-professional, they've got one Liga title in 1936. So the main reason, they've got history there. They've won a competition. They've won 5 Coupe de France's, up until 1949. So they've got trophies there. They've got the history. They're also in Paris. Big thing, and obviously in French football, is how strong Paris Saint-Germain are. The ultimate challenge is in it to get past Paris Saint-Germain and start dominating. This save is a long one, maybe 20 years. Can you outgrow PSG? Now, semi-professional, so it's going to take a while to get out. You also need to win the top. You need to win the division. There's no playoffs. You just need to win it. You just need to win it. I'm not actually sure where you're predicted to finish. Never looked at this. Okay, 5th. Paris, unfortunately, Paris. The top 2 are going to be difficult to beat by the looks of it. But it's a challenge. People like these crazy challenges. This, I think, is definitely one of them. I think once you get out of the first division and then work through the leagues, it'll probably get easier. But just to start with, being based in this division, you may find it a little bit tough. A lot of derbies, because obviously this is sort of like the French, the sort of like the Paris sort of like region league, I think. Have we got any rivals? No fierce rivals, but we've obviously got other rivals, Paris FC, and Paris Saint-Germain. Key player. He's pretty good for this league, look. 4.5 star, 33, but yeah, semi-professional. He's pretty decent. He is pretty decent. I think he's just as good as some players that I've got in my Fenerbahce save, to be honest, in certain positions. So, very good player. Semi-professional is going to be a problem, so you need to make sure your finance is good. What do the board want? Top half finish. So, there's no real pressure on you there. No real pressure. Top 7. No real pressure. You'll be able to build a squad maybe over the next season, 2 seasons, and really push towards getting out. I don't know. You might be a tactical genius and get them out at the first attempt. Money-wise, isn't great. Obviously, there's not going to be money to spend. You've got now to spend in the wages. A bit of wheeling and dealing, which you know guys down at lower league save. There's no loanies though. You've got the opportunity to build something massive. Can you overtake PSG? 8,000 seat stadium as well, even though there's rugby posting it. That'll do, yeah, won't it? Up until, the 2nd tier? And then you may look at extending and stuff. So the basis is there. You've got your stadium. You've got a half-decent playing squad. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 players in there. But then you can maybe get a few more players in. You can maybe look at offloading a couple of players. Looking at the squads, contracts. There's a couple there on a lot of money. 625. He is the main man. Do you keep him, or do you try and get rid of him to clear the wage budget? Get players in on loan. You might be able to get... There's not that many games as well. So if you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Get maybe 5, 6 players in on loan as well. Couple of really cheap freebies. You might have the opportunity to get yourselves out. Right, boys. That's it. 6 challenges there. 5 from the original game. 1 little wildcard at the end. If you are interested in any of those, let me know which of them 6 teams takes your fancy. I'm a bit of a sucker. I like a story. I want a backstory. A champions who have maybe drifted out of the leagues. Like some of them that are just falling on hard times. Can you get them back? So yeah, let me know down in the comments. Make sure you like today's video as well. Subscribe if you are new. I've got lots of content on the channel. We've got York City ongoing save, non-league to Premier League. We're now in League One. We've got a Manchester United series coming towards the end with a Deportivo La Coruña save coming after that. I've got Fenerbahce as well in Turkey. We're into the 2nd season. They're trying to get over the big obstacle that is Galatasaray in the Turkish leagues. PSG, 1 season save in the 2006-2007 database. My Genoa live stream started on April the 19th when the channel turns 2 years old. We'll be starting with a good, depending on how long the missus gives me, it'll be hopefully maybe, I'm asking for 12 hours, but depending on lockdown scenarios, it may be just a longer stream on the Sunday night. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. As always, as I said, like, subscribe, muchly appreciated, and we will see you next time. Cheers, guys. See you later.